If you find yourself driving around the Heights neighborhood here in Houston, Texas, you'll probably notice that a lot of the homes here have one thing in common. It's that a lot of them have guest houses. Did you know that you can use an accessory dwelling unit like this to subsidize your mortgage? I didn't know either until I did it a few years ago. This is called house hacking, and I'm going to tell you all about it. But before I do, my name is Rob Abasolo, and I'm part of the local realty team here in Houston, Texas. If you're looking for someone to help you get into your dream home here in the Heights or surrounding areas, be sure to contact us. I'll leave all of our information in the description down below. So let's take a look at some of the guest houses in the neighborhood really fast, and then I'll show you how they can chop your mortgage in half. All right, let's go. All right, so we didn't even walk 10 seconds, and right behind me, guest house. 10 seconds later, another guest house. I think this one's mid-century. Farmhouse, boom, another garage apartment. See, they're kind of everywhere. Oh yeah, prime example, boom, garage, guest house. Oh, here we go, another one, new construction right over here. Home, garage, guest home. I almost missed this one. You see the windows above it? Garage apartment. I think you get my point here. We walked about 2 minutes and we passed between 4 to 5 different guest homes. In another 2 to 3 minute proximity, I'd imagine that there's probably about another 10 to 15. So I get really excited about this when I'm talking to first time or second time homeowners that are wanting to upgrade into the Heights. Maybe it's a little out of their budget, but I always tell them that maybe it's not quite as much out of the budget as you'd think, all because of house hacking. So what is house hacking exactly? House hacking is basically whenever you rent a room or a part of your property or a living room if you want, or a guest house or a garage apartment, and you use the money from that rent to subsidize your mortgage. It's that easy. I actually just got into a home here in the Heights about 7 months ago for $1 million. My mortgage on that after 20% down comes out to about $5,700 a month. Now that house does have a garage apartment, and if I were to rent that garage apartment for, let's say, $1,500 a month, then I could use that money to slash $1,500 off of my mortgage, right? So $5,700 minus $1,500 comes out to roughly $4,200 that I'd be paying out of pocket to own my dream home here in the Heights. But here's where it starts getting really crazy. You don't have to actually long-term lease it. You could actually rent it on a short-term basis on websites like Airbnb or Vrbo and charge anywhere from $75 to $200 a night. Now for me, I would probably list my garage apartment on Airbnb for, let's say, $125 a night at around, let's say, a 50 to 70% occupancy. Okay, so let's just take the low end of this just to keep it easy. Let's say $100 a night. If I'm running at a 50% occupancy, that's $1,500 a month. However, that's $1,500 a month that I could make by renting it half the time on Airbnb. If I'm at that 70% mark, which is more typical for here in the Heights, then we would be looking at 21.7 nights. We'll round up to 22 nights times 100. That's $2,200. So you can already see $2,200 is almost half the mortgage. You can literally subsidize half of your mortgage by renting your garage apartment or your guest house for 70% of the month. Okay, so obviously I went to the high end here with the $1 million house. That's just my personal anecdote here. But imagine if you bought a $700,000 or $800,000 house, then these numbers can really start working out for you. You can actually pay more than half of your mortgage simply by renting your space. And this is the beauty of house hacking. A lot of people that want to get into real estate, want to start investing, they ask me, hey, how should I invest first? And what I tell them is, try not to pay a mortgage. Try to get out of paying a mortgage however you can do that. There's many ways you can do that. Just talked about a garage apartment, guest house, but you can also buy a duplex. You can live on one side and then rent out the other. Now, if you want to do long-term, that's totally fine. If you want to do short-term, you're going to make more money, but there is a little bit more work to be done there. This is how I fueled my real estate portfolio, and this is actually how I was able to get into a lot of the homes when I was first starting out on my financial journey. In a previous life, I lived in LA and I bought a house for $624,000, and I told myself, how can I afford this? And so I started working it out. But it turns out that that house had a little 279 square foot studio right underneath it. And my mortgage on that house was $4,400. But I put that studio on Airbnb and I was making between $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And that was taking care of 50 to 75% of my mortgage. So I actually ended up building a tiny house ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, in the backyard. And I think that now rents for like $2,700 to $3,000 a month on Airbnb. So I wasn't paying a mortgage on that property. Now, over the years of owning that property, I've actually made between $180,000 to $200,000 in rents that I didn't have to pay out of my own pocket to own that house. And here's where it starts getting cool. I was actually able to apply that to all my different investments, and that eventually led to me owning a 15-unit portfolio. And as of today, I now own 35 different units. Now, that's not really the point of this video. We're talking about the Heights, right, in Houston. But I really wanted to emphasize the power of house hacking and how it can really kickstart your financial future if that's something that you need or are looking to do. If I hadn't house hacked, I wouldn't have been able to build my entire real estate portfolio. Now, your goals might be different, but my advice is still the same. If you cannot pay a mortgage, that is money that you can save for your next home if that's what you want to do, or you can use it to pay off your student loans or to live. Or better yet, it might allow you to feel more comfortable buying and splurging on your dream home here in the Heights because you know that you'll be able to chop off between 25 to 50% of the mortgage by renting the extra space that you weren't going to use anyway. See, even as we talk about it, boom, another garage apartment right behind me. This is the thing that I love about the Heights. It's very accessible, and the inventory in this neighborhood for this type of setup, where you can have a full house and a guest house or maybe even a duplex, it exists, it's out there. You just have to know what to search for, but here's the good news, you leave that up to us. We will get you on the list today. And remember, our contact info is down below. But that pretty much sums it up. I just wanted to quickly talk about that because you think that this $1 million house is a very, very scary thing. But if you can pay off half of your mortgage with the guest house rental, then guess what? It's like you bought that $1 million house for $500,000. And that's how you get half off of your dream home here in the Heights, Houston. Again, my name is Rob Abasolo. We'll chat soon.